I'm Namirembe Agatha Namirembe, Chairperson, Uganda Public Employees Union. I greet you all. I know we are going through a very difficult time when we have a virus, codenamed COVID-19, which is a new virus and it has affected the whole world. Most of us don't know what to do. Even the medical personnel really have not yet got a solution for this virus. That means that we have to be extra careful and follow the guidelines that have been issued by the Ministry of Health, especially the issue of staying away from crowds. And if you find yourself in a crowded place, at least give a distance of 2 meters, something that we have codenamed social distance. Let's try as much as possible, because this virus spreads when someone who is infected actually sneezes and the droplets fall onto surfaces. These droplets have been shown to take quite some time on these surfaces, especially on plastics, where they spend various hours, and on metallic surfaces. And we have been advised to make sure that we wash our hands frequently with soap and water, and if possible, use sanitizers, and avoid touching these surfaces, because once we touch these surfaces, we can easily touch our mouth and our nose. So also resist from touching the noses and the mouth, because that is the entrance of the virus into our bodies. Let us also make sure if someone has a cough and is coughing, let that person be able to put on a mask. The symptoms of this disease don't manifest themselves immediately. We should, as much as possible, try to stay at home if we can. If we are an essential service and our organization has put in place measures to protect us, then we can see how best we can work. But the best method would be stay at home for the days that have been given, so that we can break the lineage between the infections, so that we are able to avoid the infections in these 14 days when it's active. For those workers who are working in various fields that are very essential to the country, for example, utilities like water, electricity, the medical workers, and the other people who cannot stay away from work, we appeal to the employers to make sure that they have put in place protective measures, especially giving this staff gloves, masks, sanitizers, and also washing points. Let's ensure that these things are in place, and also the workers, if any of them is infected or anyone has any kind of illness, medical facilities are offered by the employers right away on showing any signs. It's also vital for us who show any signs, and the signs here we mean high temperatures, dry cough, fever, and also difficulty in breathing, and irritations in the throat. Make sure that we get medical checkup. Don't fear to go to these hospitals or checking points, because once you don't do that, the disease will spread, but not only spreading to the population, but it will also spread in your body, and if not handled fast, it may lead to death. Let's avoid as much as possible to spread these diseases to other people, and also avoid the point where someone falls sick. And for us to keep healthy, let's make sure we also have some preventive measures apart from the sanitizing and washing hands. It has been shown that this virus doesn't survive in hot conditions. So as much as possible, let's try to take warm water frequently to kill that virus in our throat, to wash it down, and also to take some lemon and ginger. The other thing is also to make sure that we have a diet. We take foods that are rich in vitamin C, oranges, lemon, pineapples, Irish potatoes. All those foods are very rich in vitamin C. I want to make a special appeal now as a leader, a trade unionist. I want to make a special appeal to our employers. This is a time, I know, when all economies are being challenged, when workers can't deliver to their maximum potential due to worries, due to lack of transport, because public transport has been stopped. We appeal to all employers to look critically at this situation and not victimize the workers, but let's work hand in hand with them to make sure that we have at least a skeleton staff. We suggest measures like working in shifts, working with only the emergency staff, so that we avoid the numbers of people who are exposed to the virus. Those who can work at home, also assignments can be given to them online using the different technologies that we have. As much as possible, we know some areas are being so much affected, especially informal sector. We just appeal to each and everyone that this all concerns all of us, and we are in it together. We appeal to the employers not to dismiss staff who have not been able to come to work, but rather to find a way of how we can stop this virus, at least contain it within 1 month, so that the next month, if we have no cases, we can still be able to work and be able to pull up and do the work that we were supposed to do. And I also appeal to the employers, even if these people are staying at home, please assist and pay their full salaries, because they need to get food and also to keep healthy and perform. I know this virus, if handled carefully, this situation is temporary. And with careful observing the guidelines that are put in place, I know with time we'll be able to have a country that is cleared of this virus. I want to also thank our President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and his team, the Ministry of Health, for the measures that have been put in place to make sure that this virus is controlled. Let's follow them and make sure that we are able to have a country that is free of this virus. I also, on that note, appeal to all leaders at your different levels, especially those ones who are in the trade union, and all leaders up to the local level, the LC levels and the village levels, to make sure that they sensitize people, especially on the need and to stay at home, and also the need to keep a social distance. All measures are being done in good faith. I know there are various challenges of some of our workers who work and have income which is hand to mouth, but still this country has a lot of food. Let's share what we have with those who don't have, but let's also educate them on the need to stay at home, on the need not to be in crowds, on the need to follow the guidelines to the dot, so that this pandemic takes a shorter time, shorter than we had anticipated. If we follow all these guidelines that have been given by the Excellency, and which he himself has ably practiced, will have this country with less cases and only treat the cases that have so far been identified. The next appeal is also to be prayerful. God will always protect us. We are in His hands, we are His creation. So let's not stress so much about it. Let's give it to the Lord to handle. He will always handle our different challenges. Thank you.